Hello my friends, this is Mike with Mike's Wilderness, and welcome to my channel. It is June 20th, 2020, and it's about 4 in the afternoon. I think we have about 75, 80 degrees. I'll have to check that on my weather app, but got some cloudiness, and there is a threat of rain, and we got a few gnats out right now, but anyway, I needed a short introduction, kind of let you know we're out here on this Saturday, and we're going to go out and see if we can do a little bit of exploring, see what kind of trouble we can get into. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the weather because they have been predicting something here, and I don't really care whether it rains or not, but if you look carefully in my video, you can see maybe the little black gnats against the sky, and yeah, they're not bothering me too much, but anyway. All right, let's get moving, and yeah, we'll go from there. Boy, it's green. I am so amazed at how things come out when spring is finally fully fledged. Okay. Well, as part of the state's plan to reopen things during the COVID-19 pandemic, the state park here has got 2 camping loops, and the A loop here has been closed until just this past week when it was reopened, and so we have some campers occupying the sites, and yeah, kind of nice. So I'm guessing people are out enjoying most of the rest of the park at the moment, but anyway, just had to report on that. The reopening has brought a little bit more life into our campsites. All right, let's carry on. Well, as you may recall in the last video, I found this tree that had been damaged, and now a week later I come back and somebody has worked on doing yet another one. And they only did one side of it here, but it's the same kind of cut marks, and looks like they have taken down one with similar action. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on here. Boy, still kind of sad. Strip a tree like that and then not even take it down. Sometimes when I'm scouting an area and I'm looking for resources, I come across rocks here in the park that have some large indentations and such, and when we get a rain of any sort, they'll fill up. And this is, looks to have collected some of the rain from this morning, and I often wonder just how much it would take to process it if you were in a bind to have some hydration. I think it could be filtered and used. It's not like there's probably been a lot of animals drinking it. It might be pretty good wild water, but anyway, just something to consider. You can find it collected in different surfaces. A lot of rocks in this park that have been worn away by the glaciers and give these opportunities. Okay, I'm gonna let you listen if the microphone will pick this up. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon with the cloudy skies, and listen to all of the crickets in the background. If the microphone will pick it up, I will try to be quiet here. I might have to amplify this later. Continual chirping. Anyway, they say you're supposed to be able to calculate the temperature from the chirp, but I don't know if I can count the individual parts of the noise to make a sense of it. Anyway, just had to feature that. one of the plants that I wanted to feature that I saw on my way into the park today was this goat's beard, or Salsify. There are some edible parts of it, but to most people it looks like a very large dandelion. So I got back here a little bit to see if I could show you the leaves, but they're pretty spindly. So I'm going to get up a little tighter again so that that macro is in focus. And you can see the beautiful structure of all those seeds, and then the leaves are very thin. That's Salsify, or goat's beard. All right, now let's carry on. Once again, I find myself right near the largest patch of poison ivy along this trail, and as a public service, I find one laying out here on the trail that looks like somebody picked it and maybe didn't know, or maybe they did, or maybe they don't get any kind of allergic reaction to it, but I think we're going to move it off the trail here as best I can with a stick, and hopefully it won't contaminate somebody. And again, missed it because of the leaves on the trees, but oh, it's always still fun to hear a great big heavy train go by. So there it is for today. I don't know if it's on time or not, but it's fun. Well, if you've followed my videos long enough, you know that just about every day hike for me is about scouting, finding resources, and finding those things that will help me in bushcraft. And here I have found a piece of dead oak, I believe, and I need a small piece of it to complete a project. And so, yeah, I don't need it for firewood or anything. I just need it to make kind of a handle, and I'll show you that in a bit. And there you have it. Got a small piece of fairly solid oak. Not any punkiness to it at all. And it has that split that I'm going to take advantage of to baton this into two halves. And then I'll show you where we go from there. Anyway, very cool. Okay guys, I'm going to baton this piece of wood that I need here for my project. And my companion belt knife that I have here is from the canteen shop. And Blind Horse Knives, or BHK. I guess that would be upside down to you if you can see it. But anyway, this was like the last one they made with those two labels on it when I got it. But shout out to Rob Simpson and the former canteen shop that used to serve all of us in the bushcraft community. And but a great knife. I really enjoy it, and going to use it now to do a little woodcraft. So, all right, let me get this batoned and show you what's next. And there you have it. Split very cleanly, very flat, and that's going to work real good for my next piece of construction. All right, well, we'll carry on now. One peculiar habit, I think, of trees, if you can even call it that, is that they do tend to seek the sunlight. And therefore, when they grow out their branches, they try to seek the sun. The sun is over here to my right, and you can see this large paper birch in front of me here, with the majority of the branches pointing out to the right, extending the leaves and everything that direction to take in the sun. And even behind it, there's an oak tree with multiple branches also pointing in that same direction. And it's not a hard and fast rule by any means, but averaging enough tree branches pointing towards the south is a good way to get a direction if you need it. So, all right, my friends, that's today's direction finding tip. Thank you, and we'll get back to you. Okay, my friends. So that piece of wood that I batoned in half I've now taken and rounded off, as you can see, all of the edges so that it makes a good grip or a handhold for the type of kind of handle that I want to make. And I'm going to finish it up here and then show you what its purpose is. But quick, simple, and hopefully it'll work for me when the time comes. Okay, let me add the last piece of the puzzle. Okay, the last part of the project on this handhold is to put a divot in it. And by now, many of you fans of frictional fire, or fire by friction, will recognize this as a bearing block, where you put the tip of your spindle in there and press down with a reasonable amount of pressure to create the friction you need to get an ember. And the other thing that I do is, let me rescue that. The other thing that I do is I take another piece of, this is oak, and I put it in there to act as a spindle tip, and I rotate it back and forth, working it, hardening it with friction and everything to firmly get that divot established in there before I need to use it. So yeah, a little heat and pressure. Sometimes I'll even scorch it some with my magnifying glass just to harden that wood. Oak is pretty hard to begin with, and with heat and pressure you can really get it polished to a nice, very frictionless type of point to use when bearing down on your spindle. So, all right, there you go. I'm going to work on this a little bit more and then start heading back. The mosquito dope's starting to wear off. All right, in a bit. You can see where I darkened it, carbonized it a little bit, polish it a little bit more, harden it up. I'll give it a try. Here's a much larger water catchment in this rock. And there's a few bugs and other stuff in there. Don't think it's too drinkable, but I've seen a few dogs use this water dish. But I think in a survival pinch, probably could be processed and used. I've got to show you something a little closer here. Hopefully you can see that. Oop, you got away. Oh well. This is what the unblossomed flower of the Salsify looks like before it turns into that. All kinds of little feathers on the trail. Somebody lost. And that's the way life goes round. Well, this is a good sign. We're actually getting some color into the raspberries. Woohoo! Won't be too much longer, and we'll have something edible. That one almost looks ripe enough to eat. Here's what that goldenrod looks like when that worm first invades the stem. It's very green, and eventually it'll get much larger and be able to harvest that worm out of there for bait. I just had to show you that, the green one. Well, that about wraps it up, my friends. This is Mike from Mike's Wilderness, and for the outro, we've had a pretty good day. The weather has remained kind of partly cloudy with 77 degrees for temperatures, and again, still coping with the COVID-19 pandemic and the state rules A lot of people on the trails today, and we are all trying to keep our distance and stepping off the trail and doing whatever. But yeah, it's been a good time. And I gathered and found a lot of different resources, as is my usual process when I'm hiking and bringing you the adventure. And I am going to have something in a week or two that will be from a completely different location and a little more exciting, I hope. And we'll be happy to share with you some of those adventures. So until then, take care. Remember to get out and get dirty, and stay safe of all things. And we'll catch up with you the next time. All right. Bye.